So I think it's really quite bad on multiple fronts. Now, it doesn't mean that over time ISIL is going to take Baghdad or control the country, and I still think over time ISIL will be defeated. But this is fairly bad news, and it also sets back the clock on what we had hoped would be by now a preparation for the counterattack against Mosul, the largest and most important city that ISIL holds. And yet that would now seem to be even further into the future. Well, I think in the long term, we'll find some way, the Iraqis will find some way to take Ramadi back, but it may involve using Shia militias that we would rather not see empowered. I think this does signify the rebuilding of the Iraqi army is slower than we would have liked or predicted. I think it does mean that the overall battle plan against ISIL is going to have to be slower than we predicted. And it also means a lot of good Iraqis, including some key American allies, are going to be killed because they are now vulnerable. There's no one left in Ramadi to protect them. And so I'm not quite as inclined to talk this one down as some people. I think in the grand scheme of things, things will still work out okay. But this is a significant setback and fairly bad news. And so I'm discouraged, you know, and I think that what it means is not to say there's no hope, but it says it's going to take longer and be less pretty, and we're going to have to work with some of these Shia militias, which means finding some way to regulate them so that the relatively more controllable ones can be worked into the battle plans. Otherwise, we're just going to have to see this improvisation, which raises more questions than it answers and raises a lot of fears among the Sunni. So, no, I don't think the whole strategy is defunct or pointless, but I think it may be a strategy that takes us into 2016 before we can really see the kind of progress that we wanted. Well, in the history of terrorist organizations or large extremist movements of this type, usually what you see is that if the group's reasonably well established, the loss of a moderately high-level person does not radically set them back. Now, I would love to be proven wrong, and we don't really know. We're going to have to watch and see. This could be a person who was just so talented or so capable that he really can't be easily replaced.